All right. Welcome in, everybody. We are getting started here. If I could just get a couple people in the chat to make sure that you guys can see us and hear us. I hit the start button, but transparently, it doesn't really say much on my side that we're started. So if I could just get a little bit of a thing in the chat here that we are doing, great. You guys can see us and you can hear us. Awesome. Well, I am so glad to be here with Sai and Nick. We're going to be talking about maximizing retention today. We're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes as everybody's pulling in here. Um, but before we get too far in, I just want to do a bit of an icebreaker question. So, as you guys are logging in here, Easter's coming up on Sunday. I want to know, what is your guys' favorite Easter candy? So, maybe it's not Easter specific. That's okay. Maybe you can only think of candy. We were chatting a little bit about it. I'll share mine first. I think my go-to is always peanut M&Ms, and this time of year they always do like an Easter pastel peanut M&M. But I could eat peanut M&Ms all day long. So that's mine. I'm curious, Nick and Sai, what's your guys' go-to?
Yeah, maybe I do like a mini egg. I am a man of that enjoys a mini egg. And then what else? I was thinking that the Kinder eggs are actually like surprisingly very good chocolate. Oh, not positive the webinar started.
I see attendees, so if other people are here, can you guys chat in that you can see us and hear us? Okay. We
Alicia's
got
here. Yes.
Alicia's here, so we've
Awesome.
got Reese's peanut butter egg. So I think we're here. So, yep,
Cool.
got a thumbs up from Lauren, so we're good. Appreciate that, guys. Yeah.
For me, I do like those eggs too. Those chocolate eggs makes me nostalgic as a kid. Running to like a bodega, getting a chocolate egg, was always good. But also like general candy, I'm a huge fan of like gummies, like Sour Patch
Ooh,
Kids, gummies. Those are like my vice. I love those too. So yeah, I would say those two, top two for me.
that is so good. The thing that I'm absolutely obsessed with right now, and I'm gonna butcher the name, so I'm not even gonna pretend to say the name. It's those frozen fruit that are sour that you get at the like grocery store, and
Yeah.
they're like frozen grapes, pineapple, or mango, but they are like coated in this sour like candy coating. They are so good, but they're like the like my wife doesn't like them because they're so intensely sour, but then they taste really good afterwards. But I tell you, I could eat those all day. There, but it's like just the right amount of treat where you like have two and you're like good. But if you guys haven't had those, you guys need to definitely definitely get those today. But yeah, warheads. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, cool. We will get started here on intros and then we'll dive into the slides. But what I want to do is I want to announce that we are going to be doing a Most Valuable Chatter Award today. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be keeping an eye on the chat and seeing who is engaging the most, who's chatting the most. I mean, even if you just want to do fire emojis, if we're saying something that you like, if you have questions, you can engage, answer other people's questions. But we're going to be just going through and keeping an eye, and we'll do like a mid checkpoint to see where the competition is at. But you guys will be walking away with some cool little gift cards, maybe some swag. We'll do that at the end. Um, but yeah, we'll do intros, so you guys know who all of us are on screen, and then we'll go into the presentation. So I'm Mark. I'm with Because I'm our growth manager, onboarding manager here. What's really cool about me that you hear in a minute about my story is I was actually on the brand side. So I'm here with Because we're an on-site personalization tool for Shopify stores, leveraging your data from Klaviyo and other places like Skio. But I'll pass off to you, Nick, for an intro on your side.
Sure, I'll do a quick one. My name is Nick. I lead partnerships at Skio. Skio is a subscription platform. We help Shopify brands sell subscriptions without ripping their hair out. Love the e-com space. I've been in it for a minute now. Started working on the agency side back in like 2015 when video ad placements on Facebook were like a new thing, and have been in the e-com space ever since. Super excited to kind of get into the topic today. Retention is, yeah, something that I could go on and on about.
So, Sai, how about from you?
Definitely. I'm Sai. I'm with Social Snowball. I'm the head of customer success here. Social Snowball, we're an affiliate marketing platform. And yeah, I'll definitely talk a lot more about what Social Snowball does and share retention strategies and retention plays with you. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining the webinar. Super excited for this.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and we'll be going through. So make sure you guys hang out until the end to get to win that most valuable chatter award, and then we'll also be sending out the webinar to all of you guys after as well. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna get into present mode here. We've got some slides we've got for you. Let me just get this to present mode before I start sharing my screen. 1 second here. All right, let's do this. Okie dokie, here we go. Can everybody see my screen here? You should be able to see this beautiful design here with Because, Skio, and Social Snowball.
Yep.
Let me just move the chat over so I can see a little bit better. Great. Awesome. We've got a yes and a thumbs up. Great. Good to see that. Cool. So I'm going to be taking the first part, and then I'll be passing off to Nick. And then we'll be going through with Sai at Social Snowball. So you guys kind of got a tiny bit of an intro from me, but I'm Mark. I used to lead ecom at the Brand the Adventure Challenge. You guys might have seen some of their stuff from way back when. They do this date book for couples. It's all really fun. It's all about couples saying yes to a date without not knowing what's behind the like little scratcher, kind of like a lottery ticket. Couple says, okay, we're going to do it. They scratch off and they have to do what it is. It could be having a picnic on an air mattress on a lake, or dressing up like you did in high school and going to a local park and doing like a cute photo shoot. But definitely learned a lot there. And I got introduced to Because when I was there, which was really cool. Other things, I've been in marketing for over a decade, come up on like 15 years of marketing, and been in all spaces from SaaS to ecom to brands, social media, even PR. And I'm a girl dad. I've got a 2.5-year-old, and it is all things stickers and glitter and Play-Doh and crayons. If there's any parents in the chat watching right now, washable crayons have been a lifesaver, because if you have kids, kids love crayons. They love to color on anything but paper, and Crayola makes washable crayons. So if it's on the doors and walls, it is you just take a baby wipe to it and it's gone, and it is so fun. Oh, 2.5. Mine is 2.4, so really close to you, Carlos. But yeah, and we named our daughter Leia. I'm a big Star Wars fan, if you guys can't tell from my little Zoom screen. And Andor season 2 comes out next week. Yes, May the 4th. Yes, thank you, Lauren. We're best friends already. I love this. But Andor season 2, I can't wait. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to be talking about retention, and all of us are talking about retention today, but I'm specifically talking about retention. And I really want to emphasize that, and it's probably not news to all of you guys, but retention is far greater than acquisition. Um, I think that your guys' most powerful growth lever is right underneath your nose when it comes to what you can do on site to make it personalized, to really retain customers, keep customers coming back, keep them engaged, keep them excited. Um, it's pretty crazy. What if we could increase your guys' site performance by 20% without doing anything with ad spend? Probably sounds a little bit too good to be true, but retention is the cheapest way, and it is way more profitable. What's really crazy is Shopify stores that are focusing on keeping customers rather than chasing new ones. They see, with a 5% boost in retention, they see upwards of like 95% in profits, which is crazy. So the biggest thing is about how do we treat our customers like they're true customers rather than just strangers coming on site. So I think the biggest thing is that we often are losing customers all day long because personalization has been kind of broken. Shoppers are very overwhelmed. Loyalty is very much earned, not assumed. And so it's like, how do we bring all of our tool belts as marketers? How do we bring everything that's in our tech stack and make that shopping experience unique and personalized to who's coming on site? Now, you're probably maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed or thinking that I'm going to pitch you something that is going to be complex or complicated, but What's really great about what we do at Because is we are a no-code solution that is for Shopify stores. So we've got over 800 Shopify brands that are using us today. Um, and they're doing it all without getting developers involved, which is really cool. So this is what I loved about being on the brand side is I was the e-commerce director, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this. If you can, just drop like a little a little fire emoji in the chat. But it's, it'd be Friday at 2 o'clock, and the CEO would come out of his office and be like, "Sales are down. How do we get a promo up on the site?" You contact the developer, and the developer's like, "Sorry, this should have request needed to come in 2 weeks ago. We're locked in this sprint, and I'm not going to be able to get to this today." And you feel pretty handcuffed. You feel pretty maybe frustrated, defeated as that ecom person because you're trying to really boost conversion rate. You're trying to increase sales. You're trying to, hit those metrics and make your boss happy. And because what's been great about it is any marketer, anybody who's even just over email or paid media can make changes to the site all without tapping into the code, all without getting developers involved, which has just been truly a game changer for all the brands. Now, I've got a couple examples to show you, but really the biggest thing that I want to emphasize is like how do we turn that very static, very generalized website approach that we have been doing, for so many years to a personalized one that is giving product recommendations, that's talking about subscription, that is having reviews that are personalized to the person to where they feel seen and known as they're coming on site. So we get to meet shoppers where they're at with Because campaigns, which is so great. And again, we're leveraging data like Klaviyo, all of the data that's inside of your Klaviyo account. We're leveraging all of that to really connect into everything that is your guys' tech stack to make that shopping experience. Now, you may be wondering, like, okay, what are the specifics? What are the stats around this? I just want to show you a couple of use cases here from real life examples. So this brand, Glorious Gaming, they have a loyalty program. Like many of you, you probably have loyalty. Um, but what's often interesting about loyalty is it's really maybe hard to find on the site, and it's maybe difficult to pin down and track and everything like that. And what we did at Because is leveraging Klaviyo data is we brought that messaging above the add to cart button, and we identified everybody who wasn't a part of loyalty. So we took a segment of loyalty sign up subscribers, and then we displayed messaging on site to anybody who wasn't a part of loyalty. Now, when customers saw this and they were shopping, they reported a 25% lift in conversion rate by displaying this message here on site. There was no discount, there was no offer. It was just getting those people into that loyalty program for them to really understand how could they better become like a VIP of that brand. Uh, and what's so great about this too is that the loyalty element is really driving engagement. It's driving uh, it's driving away from the competition of having to compete with yourself on Amazon and even like brick and mortar stores. Now, another example here is also doing messaging in the cart level. So again, the great thing about us connecting into Because is that almost every loyalty program, and I'll use the example of Heroes and Villains, their website that sells Star Wars stuff. Probably aren't surprised. I am a massive shopper of them. Every time I come back to the site, they have no idea who I am. I've spent a lot of money with them, and I have been to their site many times, and I still have to figure out where do I log in, how many points do I get, what tier am I on, because it's all very hidden. With Because, what we can do is we can tap into the Klaviyo. We can understand what tier they're on. We can understand how close they are to their next tier. We can understand that they have points available to spend. And we can do it all without the customer logging in because Klaviyo is identifying customers before they log in. Now, most of us don't log into loyalty until we check out. So this is a really cool example of providing that message in cart, identifying that they are a loyalty member, what tier they're on, and then prompting them to log in, all within that shopping experience, which is great. And you can see the numbers here definitely speak for themselves, seeing a 9.3% conversion rate lift, just again by displaying a banner. Yeah, sounds nice. It is really cool, Lauren. It's a lot cheaper than you probably think it is. Um, I'll go through here. I've only got like a couple more minutes. I've got a couple more slides here to go through. Um, I might sound like a broken record, but I just really want to emphasize like it is zero code. It is zero friction. You guys get 100% of the results. And you could truly launch a campaign in 60 seconds. That's how quick and easy it is. I have consistently seen the jaws being dropped and the teams celebrating. Just yesterday, I was on a call with some team members that were seeing how quick and easy it was to make changes and get new because campaigns launched and into A/B testing. They were rejoicing because they felt like they finally had that creative and marketing freedom on their website for the first time in forever. Now, I want to talk through just a couple more things here real quick. I only have about 3 more minutes with you guys, and then I'll pass it off to Nick. But here's many of the brands that we're working with here. We really, another piece to this whole retention piece is abandoned cart. So from cart abandonment to conversion lift, there's over, again, just to emphasize, there's over 800 brands that are trusting us today. Here's just a few that I like to call out that are some of our favorites. But let me talk about abandoned cart real quick. So abandoned cart is seriously one of the most untapped potentials here. It's consistently been a home run for each brand that we work with today. What we do is we tap into a Klaviyo segment of customers who have added to cart or started checkout but haven't actually checked out. And then we add a little because rule that they must have an item in cart. When customer comes back on the site, they see this banner here that just says items in your cart are selling fast. Now it's only being displayed to them. It might feel like very basic messaging, but again, the results speak for themselves. A 19% lift in conversion rate, over a $4,000 lift in revenue just from messaging. Amazing, right? Like how awesome would it be if you guys could report to your bosses that you drove that kind of results without discounting, without doing a flash sale, without spending developer hours, all that stuff. But I've been talking about a lot about because I want to give you guys two or actually three things that you can do today to really just that are like your key takeaways of how you could drive some impact and some good retention plays here. So biggest thing I would say is personalized message for your Klaviyo loyalty segments, whether this be VIP shoppers, whether this be customers that, have spent hundreds of dollars with you in the last few days, anybody around loyalty segments. Um, Show urgency for best sellers on cart. As a consumer, I'm a massive consumer. I really want to know, do I have to get this today or can I wait a week? And when brands effectively tell me that like this is probably my only shot at getting this, I will buy and I will add to cart and I will check out quickly because I want that item. I'm wearing a shirt as an example. This is a shirt from a brand that does a drop down or does drops, and if I don't buy when they release it, I won't get it, and they just sell out quickly. So their effective messaging on their best sellers has really helped me. And then using UTMs, and this I'll talk about UTMs and answer those questions. Any other email platform outside of Klaviyo, we can definitely leverage very similar results using UTMs. So it's not quite as in-depth as Klaviyo, but we can definitely tie into UTM parameters to do unique messaging to customers coming in from abandoned cart emails, abandoned cart SMS, but UTMs also works on paid traffic as well. So oftentimes we're running paid traffic from Facebook, Meta, everything like that, driving them to product pages, collection pages where the offer isn't there. But how can you mirror that messaging? So definitely really, really great opportunities here. So my last slide for you guys. Thank you so much for your time and listening to me talk for so long. But my last slide for you guys is let's really make your site unforgettable. So I would love to chat with all of you guys. I know that there's several of you watching. You can go to trybecause.com/demo and I would be happy to chat with all of you guys, walk you through a demo. There's zero strings attached to the demo call. We offer a 14-day free trial, and so we can walk through all that. I'll be the one talking with you guys, walking you through all the trials, and we can show you how we can connect into Attentive, ListTract, Omnisend. We're massive friends with Attentive, and we can also talk about headless. We can talk about all the stuff. So I'll drop in that URL here real quick. And then, yeah, I just appreciate all of you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And if anything, just my biggest key takeaway, I'll come back to this slide so you guys can screenshot this, but personalized messaging for your loyalty segments using Klaviyo, show urgency messaging for your best sellers in cart, and then how do you tie UTM paid traffic to your on-site promos? So, all right. Well, Nick, it's time for you to.
Cool. Let's do this. Thank you for that, Mark. Um, are you good to drive on the slides?
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
good.
Thank
You
you.
can just tell me next or yeah.
Sweet. All right. Um, cool. Well, hello, everyone. Quick little recap. I think I kind of quickly introduced myself, but again, my name is Nick. I'm partnerships lead at Skio. I live in Canada, been in the e-com space for a long time, worked on the agency side for maybe 6 or so years. And then during COVID, worked on a brand with a couple good friends. Awesome experience to kind of be on the brand side, get onto the other side of the table, so to speak. Really get a sense of like what all those like pain points feel like. And I think similar to kind of Mark's story, then you kind of bring those insights back into the tech world. So now I'm on the tech side, working in software at Skio. We are very much in the subscription space, so very bought into this idea of retention being kind of like where all the magic happens. If you want to get in contact with me, my email is super simple, just nick@skio.com. You want to drive me to the next one, Mark, please?
Yeah, I must comment though that I didn't realize you're a Raptors fan and I'm a big Warriors fan. So I still have a little bit of pain from when you guys won the championship over us. So yeah, it's
Once
okay.
upon a time, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Um, So the way that I think about this is kind of like this idea of going beyond the pointy part of the funnel. This idea that we've got this like upside down triangle where, throw in your top of funnel traffic at the top, you're doing your maybe your reach campaigns, you're doing some influencer stuff that we'll talk about in a moment. You re-engage in the middle of the funnel, and then people land on site. You give them a strong, really strong kind of high converting experience with some of the work that Mark and the team do at Because to kind of actually get that conversion. And conversion is kind of when they actually reach the bottom part of that triangle. What happens beyond that pointy part is kind of where all retention lives. In the subscription space, the beautiful part about it is the default behavior is that you're actually going to purchase again. You buy a subscribe and save option. If you choose the every 30-day cycle, without doing anything and ever returning to the site, without ever engaging with another email or anything, like you're just going to purchase again. So it kind of puts those purchases on repeat. You get that magic of paying for the conversion once, you acquire once, and then you get ongoing sales. Absolutely necessary in this day where the cost of Facebook ads is going up. Not to mention, some of the recent macroeconomic changes with like the price of COGS going up with tariffs and things like that. So just really important to kind of have this retention piece built into the business where your lifetime value will ultimately balloon and outstrip the cost of acquiring a customer. I think everybody on this call is like nodding their head and saying, yes, absolutely, I get that. But then the question becomes like, hey, where do you start? How do you maximize for impact? Becomes kind of like the follow-on questions. So if you just take me to the next slide, Mark, I'll just there's a lot going on here, and I apologize for breaking with Mark's beautiful kind of design earlier. But the way that I think about this is like it's just important to get into the math, right? I think people can come to us and they say, on the Skio side anyway, yeah, we want to focus on subscriptions. We can say, great, that's fantastic, but what does that really mean? And for us, you can kind of interrogate that a little bit more by just understanding like what do these metrics shake out to be. So for instance, if you see the column that says current kind of in the middle of the screen, you're able to kind of fill out that column with your own data. And I'm happy to share this calculator with anyone in this call. Just hit me up on LinkedIn or send me an email and I'll share the calculator with you. But if you input some of this data, what you see there, so how many total subscribers do you have today? How many subscribers are you acquiring per month? What does churn look like on a monthly basis? And what does ARPU look like? That acronym is just average revenue per user. So how much, kind of think of that as like the cousin of AOV. But once you have those metrics, then you're able to calculate what we call your MRR growth ceiling. I apologize for all these acronyms, but monthly recurring revenue. That's the maximum revenue that your business will ever acquire on a subscription basis with the present set of metrics. So I don't think anybody likes the idea of having like a ceiling on top of them. I think it's maybe beat into all of us by this um, kind of like American dream idea. Like we just want to have bigger aspirations and just go beyond our current position. And especially this is probably the direction that we're all receiving from our bosses or our boards and things like that. So what you see kind of on the right-hand side is that same data plotted out into a graph. So the gray line, um,
Real life in action. It's all good, Nick. You're good. You're good. Take your time. Who's finding this helpful? I know we've got a couple of yes pleases for wanting to get this calculator. Yeah, this is so helpful.
all right, I'm
Um,
back in the game. Sorry, everyone. I'm doing
oh,
this
you're good.
and also kind of minding my kid at the same time. His daycare is on strike right now. All right, so with the information plotted in that current column, then you get this gray line that's flat, right? Essentially, what that means is your churn is equal to the number of subscribers that you're acquiring per month. So you're actually on like a steady state. You'll never grow greater than this 100K per month in recurring revenue. Of course, if you want to exceed that number, then you need to start moving those metrics. And then you can look into the goal column that's next to the current column. This is a little bit easier if I had kind of like a pointer, and start to kind of move some of those metrics. And you can kind of paint these different scenarios of how does that red line move if we adjust the number of new subscribers you're acquiring per month, or if we reduce the amount of churn that we're experiencing every month, or if we bump up by a couple dollars here and there, your ARPU. So, given that you're able to kind of paint that sort of future scenario or goal state, then it can kind of serve as a bit of a compass of like, okay, now I can um, rally together with the rest of my team, agree that this is the direction that we want to move into to move towards that red line, and then come up with a number of products or projects or initiatives to put into place over the next 30, 60, 90 days, the next year even, to start pulling that gray line up and towards the red line. Just hit me over to the next slide, please, Mark. All right. So going back to that, there's really only three levers that you can move. How many subscribers are you acquiring? How many subscribers are you keeping? So kind of basically the retention element, the LTV element, and then what's the value on a per subscriber basis, that ARPU number. So then you can think about these buckets, so these different levers that we can pull on. Nailing your offer and focusing on that acquisition piece, I'll call that lever number one. This kind of marries really nicely with what Mark was discussing about making it a more compelling offer around the buy box itself to drive more customers or more visitors into the subscription option on that initial purchase. Um, and that's like a little fun fact for you too. I think most people intuitively they would assume that uh, you try the product and then once you've tried it and you've enjoyed it, then maybe you'll upgrade into a subscription. The reality from our data on Skio, after looking at thousands of these subscription businesses, most people who subscribe actually subscribe on the initial purchase. All right. So that's kind of like a lot to sit with, but it makes you reflect on, hey, what can I do on site to really build a compelling case for a customer to choose the subscription over the one-time purchase? And what can I do in that space, knowing that I've got kind of this one opportunity to kind of encourage that subscription offer. So what you can see on the screen here is a company called Groons, and I feel that they do this really well because A, they default the customer to subscription. So like the subscription option is the one that's pre-selected. You'll notice that try once is kind of actually tucked towards the bottom. And it's even kind of broken out into a separate little box. they're leading with value. So I'm not encouraging you to all do a 40% off. I think you really have to be aware of your margins and the unit economics of your business to be able to kind of handle that type of a deep discount. But you do have to lead with value, and that can take the form of a risk reversal, right? Where you're offering some type of guarantee, or just reassuring people that they can pause and cancel anytime so that there's not like kind of a, I think we all suffer from a bit of like commitment, like fear of commitment phobia. So if you just reinforce that, like, hey, you can get out of this if you're not enjoying it. By the way, you're going to get a really killer deal if you do choose a subscription. And if you're not liking it for whatever reason, we'll give you your money back within the first 30 days. So really making a really strong case where it becomes like an easy yes, to get people to choose the subscription. And then doing fun things, again, like Mark was talking about, including the subscription offer directly in the announcement bar and things like that, where you have greater exposure across the website, calling attention towards this offer. All of this stuff taken together is going to be necessary to get people into the subscription. Next slide, please. Oh yeah, and then one more note on that. I am a buy box nerd and I collect these things. So if you're interested in seeing my swipe file, I've collected a bunch of these things, and if you could give you inspiration if you're looking to make edits, adjustments to your own buy box, again, you can just DM me on LinkedIn, email me nick@skio.com, and I'm happy to share that swipe file with you. All right, lever number 2 is about reducing churn. Okay, so attacking those cancellations and seeing if you can get people to stay on to the 3rd cycle, the 4th cycle, and on by just really creating a really strong experience for the customer. So the first place here where you can invest a lot of effort, I think, is maybe 2 places. One is the actual new subscriber welcome flow. Kind of think of that as being proactive. Help them build a habit around incorporating a new product into their life, and really thinking about like, hey, remind them of all the benefits, remind them how to use it, remind them when they can expect results. Point towards examples of other people like them that are experiencing those results. All of that can be kind of packaged up in a new subscriber welcome flow that should be very different from your one-time purchase welcome flow. Okay, so that's kind of thing number 1 on the proactive side. On the reactive side, you can also build out what we call a cancel flow. So you can think of this as like a survey, trying to understand the reason why someone is canceling the subscription. And on the Skio side, you can not only capture the reason, but you can also capture the sub-reason. So think about this as kind of like the reason behind the reason. So if Mark, for instance, is canceling his subscription because he has too much product, we could ask him a question of, is it because you never got into using the product? Is it because it arrived late and you haven't started using it? Is it because you've stopped your fitness journey? Just kind of like asking one more question to reveal way more context. And with that additional context, you're better positioned to provide them with like a message or an offer that is a better match for what that person is actually going through, and increases your likelihood of keeping them on board or deflecting them to like another option, say skipping their next order, rescheduling, shifting to an interval that's more appropriate for their consumption patterns, giving them a discount if it's becoming cost prohibitive, and so on. But if we weren't actually capturing that reason behind the reason, then you feel kind of like maybe fat brush as to how you're addressing and potentially trying to save this customer. The next thing that I'll touch on before moving on to the next is incorporating a splash page. So I think we're all familiar with using influencer and video content and founder-led kind of content on the front end ads when we're doing acquisition campaigns on Facebook and TikTok and so on. But I feel like we often forget about that and we just like have amnesia when it comes time to the retention side. So inside of your cancel flow in Skio, you can incorporate rich video content. So you could do like a founder video, you could do an influencer video or so on, just reminding people of like what they've signed up for, all of the value that they get from the subscription, and what they stand to lose out on should they cancel. Remind them of the other options that they can take, again, aside from canceling. That is it for that slide. And then on to my third lever is about boosting ARPU. That is at average revenue per user. So if Mark, for instance, sorry, I keep on picking you, Sai,
All
if he
good.
signed up to get some like a sour gummy subscription, okay? And he loves these sour gummies and he's crushing the single pack that he gets delivered to his house every single month. Um, the question that the merchant might have is like, oh, Sai really likes flavor one. I wonder if he would also love flavor two, right? And get him exposed to the second flavor, either create an opportunity for him to cross-sell or to swap out flavors where maybe you're not increasing the ARPU in that front, but you're extending the lifespan by dealing with what we call flavor fatigue. So it's not that Sai suddenly dislikes sour, but he's maybe just getting bored of the one flavor, right? So if we can create opportunities for him to cross-sell, upsell, make swaps really easy, and a great place to incorporate those types of actions is directly inside of the upcoming order notification. So the upcoming order notification, exactly what it sounds like, 3 days before your order goes out, you get an email says, Sai, thanks so much for being part of the subscription. We're about to ship this to your place. By the way, did you want to add one of these other products to your order? And by prompting them with that kind of upsell right at that moment, it's easy on the back end through our technology to kind of one click add it without forcing side to go back through the Shopify checkout. The magic here with subscribers is that once they subscribe, we effectively have their card on file, so to speak. So when Sai wants to add more product, he doesn't have to go through the Shopify checkout, eliminating a massive amount of friction and creating this kind of inroad to make it super easy for you to upgrade and kind of build up the value of each of your subscribers by kind of implementing some of these strategies. All right, Mark, coming up to the end here. Just one more slide just to kind of wrap up, bringing it all together. So I think first things first, before you can do any of this, very important to know your KPIs. Like, where do you sit today? And if you were in planning to invest energy into this, you need that kind of compass to understand, like, where do I sit? How do I kind of then attack one of those areas to build up my overall performance of my program? And I love using that MR growth ceiling tool because it really helps kind of point you into a clear direction of next steps. The next one, make strong offer. Really, if you're planning to grow the program, and I think we're all touting the value of retention, you can't retain any customers if you haven't acquired any customers to retain. So you need to make a really strong offer on the front end to get people into the program, and then you need to, aggressively service them on the back end to kind of make sure that they're very happy about continuing to spend money with you on an ongoing basis. Then attack churn, right? Slow the bleeding, plug the bucket, whatever kind of analogy you want to use there. But that's about ensuring that there's an ongoing fantastic experience for those subscribers, delivering really great content throughout, doing things like surprise and delight, and then also having a very strong cancel flow to provide different options should they look to kind of cancel their subscription. And then finally, grow the value. If you're able to upsell and upgrade your customers from one product to two products to three products, it will dramatically change your business. And if you bake these into kind of automated flows throughout that journey, then you can, radically change your business without doing anything differently on the acquisition side. Very important. So you can kind of build up the strength of the business without spending more on Facebook ads or TikTok ads, etc. That is it, everyone. Thank you for bearing with me while I'm doing daddy duty today. If you want to get in touch and talk about any of this stuff, I love jamming on this. Just nick@skio.com. You can hit me up anytime.
That's so good. I appreciate it, Nick. And one of the things that I'm excited about subscription with because it's a really cool use case. We work with this brand that has some really cool gifts for the first time subscribers, which is great. That definitely really boosted overall signups. But what they did using Because is they did like a secret drop of a very seasonal related item that was like very popular that they knew was going to sell out. Leveraging Because, tap into all their subscription data. They did a little kind of message on the site. So as customers came back on the site, they got early access to that flavor before anybody else did. And so it was that bit of that like VIP access, which was so cool. And they basically sold out before they ended up releasing to the public because of that. And so it's just a really cool way to your point, like really treat those subscribers like they're VIPs and to do some unique messaging on the site. And it boosts overall retention, right? Because it's that surprise and delight. It's bringing all that value. So awesome. Before we move into Sai, just want to do a quick update on our most valuable chatter. We've got a bit of a tie going on here. We've got a tie between Lauren, Ashley, and Madeline. I hope I'm saying that name right. So keep it coming. We'll see who uh, walks away with the win here on most valuable chatter. But it's Lauren, Madeline, and Ashley. So awesome. I'm glad I said it right. Okay, Sai, you're up.
Thanks so much, Nick and Mark, for sharing amazing retention strategies. Hopefully, we can build on from that with what Social Snowball can do. Would love to talk more about Social Snowball, but first about me. I'm Sai. I head up customer success at Social Snowball. We're essentially an affiliate marketing platform, and we work with over 2,700 brands. We work with brands like Comfort, Kizik, Mindbody Green, Blendjet, and so on and so forth. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you're interested, connect with me on LinkedIn too. And my email is sai@socialsnowball.io. So yeah, that quick, fun fact about me. And also I'm based in New York. So my niche hobby pretty much relates to like collecting train tickets. So I travel a lot, and every country that I visit, the souvenir that I try to collect is a train ticket. So we're counting at 42 right now. So yeah, before we had this webinar, Mark was like, hey, please share some, fun fact or niche hobby that you have. And I was like, whenever I have an icebreaker, I always share this basically. Yeah, definitely Morocco is on my list for sure. I'll definitely be there, Carlos. But yeah, that's my fun fact. But yeah, excited to, thanks so much everyone for joining this webinar. And I'm excited to share more about Social Snowball and also share some retention strategies. Yes, Lauren, I do have some tickets from Amsterdam too. I love those tickets. Yes.
That,
Perfect.
that that's so cool. I just have to comment before I go to the next slide. Like that's probably the coolest niche hobby that I've heard to date. Like being able to collect like train tickets and then to have over 42 from 42 different countries. That is so cool.
Thank you. Awesome. So, Social Snowball, what do we do? We are an affiliate marketing platform. Like I mentioned before, we work with 2,700 brands. We're a Shopify app essentially. Our bread and butter is influencer management. So, we can work with influencers, affiliates across Instagram, TikTok, essentially, and we can manage them end to end, right? From onboarding them, setting them up for success with programs, building long-term collaborations with them, and paying them out. We can manage your influencers end to end. There's a lot of platforms that claim to do this, but the end to end process is something that is a huge differentiator for us. And another thing that we can do is your influencers, your affiliates are creating content about you, right? So we can track that content for you, and you can report, you can track all the stats for engagement, the number of likes that they get, the views, the comments that they're getting, and also the best part is you can download all the content too, where you can repurpose that content to post on your website, on your socials, use them for paid ads too. So that's pretty much what Social Snowball does. And we're seeing great success working with a lot of brands here. Perfect. Mark, if you can go to the next slide. Perfect. So I have a couple of strategies I want to share. This is a major retention strategy for us, essentially. So what we essentially do is we turn customers that make a purchase on your website into an affiliate, thereby building community and also helping you retain your customers. This is a huge strategy for us, essentially. So I'll walk you through an example in terms of how it works. So for example, Nick and Mark are on Obvi's site. Obvi is a client for us. And as you can see on the right, there is an example where it just tells you, hey, gift your friends 20% off and we'll send you 20% in cash. So for example, if Nick and Mark are on Obvi's site, they make a purchase. On the thank you page, they'll see an incentive. And we'll also share a link with them, essentially, which you can see, right, where it says, share your tracking link and start earning. So we can display this incentive and we can share the link with your customer who we've turned into an affiliate. They can share this with their friends. They can share this with their community, their friends, their followers on Instagram or TikTok essentially, and you can earn cash. That's pretty much how it works, right? And they're also being a part of your community, which is huge, right? So you are retaining your customers not only by, having like a strong retention strategy, but you're building an affiliate community. You're helping them spread that word of mouth marketing, which is a huge game changer. And what it leads to is it leads to 3 to 5% GMV for brands. So we work with over 2,700 brands and we've done some benchmark and it generates 3 to 5% GMV, which is very, very cool. So that's pretty much how it works. It's just very easy to set up. And we also integrate with SendLane, we integrate with Klaviyo, where you can send those emails to just remind them. And you can also update this to your post-purchase flow, where you can say, hey, you're now an affiliate. We'd love for you to share and earn more money, right? Who doesn't like a good side hustle where they can earn more money, right? So that's pretty much what we do. And this is a huge retention play to grow your customer retention strategy in 2025. And another huge thing is incentivize them, right? You can offer them different levels of incentives. You can offer them store credit. You can offer them cash commissions, or you can offer them just a discount for their next purchase. There are different ways of rewarding your affiliates, your community. Of course, cash is definitely king, but you have a lot of options based on margins and based on, your products and so on. So you can definitely do that. So this is a huge strategy where you can just turn your customers automatically into affiliates in the thank you page. Social Snowball does all the work for you. And we can also send them email reminders through Klaviyo, through SendLane. And we can also work on some integrations with Attentive and other ESPs that you use essentially to generate 3 to 5% GMV. So this is a huge retention play that we have. And there's a strategy that typically works really, really well. And it's like a Social Snowball best practice. Awesome. Mark, if you can go to the next slide. Cool. And another thing we talked about initially, right? Something that we can do as Social Snowball is we can track your affiliate generated content. And this is also a strategy that a lot of brands do is they retarget their returning purchasers, they retarget their returning customers through paid ads or also just on their website to create those personalized experiences where they share, user generated or affiliate generated content to make sure that they're showing this targeted message to their returning customers and returning purchases to increase LTV and loyalty. So when users or affiliates talk about their products, whether it's like an unboxing video or whether they actually are using the product. This is just an example with Supergoop, essentially where they're applying their sunscreen, they're showing them, how they're getting ready for lunch, basically. And it's just a great video to capture someone's attention, create engagement, and get someone to purchase again, thereby retaining them to increase LTV and loyalty. And this is just a great strategy where you're just leveraging content that's been generated by affiliate or a customer of yours, and then showing it to other purchasers where it's authentic, where it's genuine, and it's just a great play to build loyalty to. And I think this is something that Nick and Mark were also talking about cross-selling and upselling to grow that ARPU metric and also build LTV essentially. So what we can do is we can personalize your paid ads through affiliate generated content or personalize the content on your website for those returning customers, returning purchasers essentially. And you can upsell them and cross-sell to them based on their previous purchasing behavior. So if they've purchased product X, maybe product Y goes along well with it, or product Z goes along well with it. So upselling and cross-selling is a huge retention strategy that we have, especially targeted towards your returning customers, returning purchasers, and using the content that's been generated by your affiliates, where all of that is stored in Social Snowball. You can download that content, you can see the engagement to see which affiliate, which influencer is actually moving the needle, right? Who is valuable, who is creating that engagement. You can use their content, work with them to create more content, to personalize your website, personalize your paid ads, to retarget the right people, which is a huge game changer. So to just summarize, right, the customer referrals program that I was talking about where we can convert customers into affiliates is a huge retention play, which generates 3 to 5% GMV. And then using the affiliate generated content for customer retention is another huge play that Social Snowball does. And a lot of brands that we work with use this to retain customers and drive that loyalty and LTV essentially, and also create those cross-selling, upselling experiences. So yeah, definitely if you want to learn more about this, I'll definitely drop the Social Snowball demo in the chat also. And connect with me on LinkedIn, email me at Sai at Social Snowball. I'm happy to do like a personalized demo for you too, to help you understand the product, how we do these strategies, how we can implement it for you to drive up that 3 to 5% GMV. Yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. Thanks everyone for joining the webinar. I think we're heading into a Q&A, but I'll hand it over to Mark.
Yeah, I really appreciate both of you sharing insight. I really love what you guys are doing at Social Snowball. I think that tapping into really in like kind of like equipping your customers to become like your true ambassadors out there is so impactful, and I think that that's really cool. I could see many people wanting to leverage that for their brands. So it's exciting. We've got a few minutes left here, so we can answer some questions. I know there's quite a few questions in the chat from earlier. But if you guys have any other last minute questions, feel free to drop them in. And I have exciting news to give you the update on most valuable chatter. It was very neck and neck, very close. Our team's been tallying everything and keeping an eye on it. But the most valuable chatter is going to be Ashley. She definitely walked away with the win very closely. It was just by a hair. So Ashley, congratulations so much on winning the most valuable chatter award. You can reach out to me. I'll drop my email here, Ashley. Um, so you can reach out to me and we will hook you up. Hopefully the gift cards help with being that mom, stay-at-home mom with that little one. So we'll hook you up there. But yeah, we've got a few minutes. So what questions are coming up for you guys that'd be helpful? I know one of the biggest questions that you answered, Nick, was recharge versus Skio. I know that's definitely a big one. Um, but what are some other questions that are coming up that we could answer here in the last couple minutes? The chat is now very quiet. Yeah, congratulations, Ashley. Good job. Let me just scroll back through. I saw Hayden talk about how he would love to get Because and Skio combined. We can definitely talk through that, Hayden. I think that that's really great. One of the questions that was asked earlier was, do you find that notifying customers of upcoming renewals gives them a chance to feel buyer's remorse and question their spending? I think that would be a really good question for you, Nick.
I think this is kind of an interesting debate. I think philosophically, I will take the position that it is better to actually over communicate with your subscribers than to really bank on they'll stay on board if I don't speak with them. I think you should kind of take a different tact where you're treating them like they're absolute VIPs and really trying to provide like a really sort of concierge style experience, doing things like Mark, what you mentioned about making sure they get first access to new products. They can become almost like your early adopters or almost like your product research unit in a way, like giving feedback on things like that. And I think you will ultimately suffer in the long term if you're taking the approach where you just want to make it difficult for people to cancel or just trying to hope and pray that they don't realize that they're on a subscription. I think is kind of ultimately a losing strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're providing like quite the opposite, like A plus level of communication, and think about how you would want to be treated as a subscriber. And I think you can kind of answer the question yourself.
I would say from a consumer standpoint, this question to like Ashlyn's point, she dropped something in the chat too. From a consumer standpoint, there's a brand that I am a subscriber of, and they often will send me a text message letting me know that I'm coming up for like my next shipment, and I can order it now instead of waiting like a week. And I would tell you 9 times out of 10, I order now because I'm like, oh shoot, I am like running low on that, and I want that. And I've yet to like manage my subscription with them where I've kicked it further back. Now on the flip side, I have subscriptions through Amazon that they don't tell me. And maybe if they do, it's very like lost. They don't tell me that it's coming up. And I'm like, dang it, I already have too much liquid death at my house. I don't need another one. And so oftentimes I have to go in and cancel it and go, no, 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 send it to me in a month. But it is they don't do a good enough job of notifying me that it's coming up. It's more about like, hey, it's shipping, and I'm like, no, I don't want it. So I think to your
Yeah.
point, Nick, it's
I,
it's good to like
I
treat
I
them
think
well.
the one thing, the one wrinkle that I'll add to that is that just maybe kind of do a little bit of judo there, and instead of thinking about this as an opportunity to cancel, think about it as an opportunity to kind of like better serve your customer. And if you're able to provide them with either the option to quickly delay, you want the customer to delay versus having them rage cancel, right?
Yes.
Like that's in the best interest of all parties, making that option really easy. But similarly, making the option for swapping flavors, again, it maybe you're sick of just like the plain sparkling water, but if they're trying to promote their new liquid death iced tea, for instance, and you're like, yeah, I could give that one a go and could, work that into my rotation. I am certainly one that likes to float around a bunch of different flavors, right? I will
Yeah.
sample all of your protein bars if you give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, and so just making those kind of like that optionality available to you will ultimately create a stronger experience for the customer, and they'll be more likely to then refer their friends and use the social snowball affiliate link or what have you, by providing them with that like amazing experience on the front end there.
Yeah. Yeah. And to Ashland's point, regarding like MeUndies, I've been a MeUndies subscriber for a long time of their socks, and they notify me that my socks are coming up for renewal and they're about to ship, and they have a default sock that they're going to ship me, like the newest print. And if I don't do anything, that's the one I get. But then they give me the option of like, here's the other ones you could get. And so to your point, Nick, it's kind of like, are you tired of sparkling water? Do you want iced tea? Like instead of just a yes, no, it's more like a here's what you're gonna get if you don't do anything, but here's your opportunity to choose something that you do want. So it's nice and again, I like
I,
having that power as a consumer. So
I can
uh
quickly answer Hayden's question
yeah,
if we got
go
a
for it.
couple more minutes.
Yeah.
So Hayden's question is about what do you think is the correct way to support and promote Skio with the rewards program? Should they be treated as two separate programs, or do you think there's a good way to balance both in a single customer? For the, how many people are on this chat right now? 23 people in here. You'll be the 23 first people to know that Skio is actually launching our own loyalty program. I think historically these things have been divorced and kept kind of separate. So you're rewarding customers and giving them maybe points for doing purchases, for following you on social, for making referrals and things like that. Uh, but I think merchants, that they're like greedy, but it only makes sense to kind of like better integrate the behavior that you're looking to encourage, which would be to stay on the subscription longer and to connect those two ideas together. So we're actually looking to get into that space. We already do have some existing integrations with a number of the players in the loyalty space, where they can use your points in a different platform and redeem them inside of Skio against your upcoming subscription. We do have some deeper integrations with like the folks at Revo, for instance, where you can display your like points total or your referral code directly inside of your Skio portal, just to reduce the number of tabs you're switching against there. But kind of like the furthest, pushing that kind of idea to its conclusion is just kind of bringing that under one roof with Skio loyalty. Couple of the benefits that I'll get into, and I promise this won't be a full-blown advertorial here, but you can do things like give rewards for customers that have made it to like further and further cycles into their subscription. So it can kind of use that to build out your tiering program. And then you can also use the cash back and tie that into your cancel flow. So, Sai, are you sure you want to cancel? Do you want to instead redeem your points, or do you want to instead redeem your cash back? And then kind of use a little bit of like that loss aversion psychology to keep people on board and subscribe longer by tying the benefits directly into the behavior that you're looking to encourage, which is the repeat purchase.
So good, so good. Well, I appreciate you guys so much today. Thank you to everybody who has hung out this long with us. Just a reminder of where you can connect with me. You can go to trybecause.com/demo. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, all that stuff. And then I know that Nick and Sai would be happy to talk with you guys as well. But thanks so much, guys. Be on the lookout for our next webinar coming up next month. We'll be teasing some of that coming soon. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and happy Easter and egg hunting to all of you this weekend. Hopefully you get some good candy. Appreciate all you guys. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, happy Easter. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.